just want to say hello to Boris, who I saw he's here as well.
Yeah,
So
Boris, waiting.
thank you so much for you two to joining these talks, and thank you for participating. It's a big pleasure for me to have you here. And
It's our pleasure.
cool, man. And maybe we could start. I would like to know a bit more about you and your group of improvisation. Could you tell me a bit about your experience with conducted improvisation?
Yeah, our group is really crazy and collective, but everything actually started in 2017. But my personal experiences with conducted improvisation were like Warsaw Improvises Orchestra, because I kinda lived there for a while, but just as a listener, and also London Improvises Orchestra.
Yeah, sure.
And at that time, I was just in the role of a listener, and it was non-orchestra in Poznan, and I was like suggesting this idea to different people already organizing some stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, great idea. Let's do it," but it didn't happen. So after some time, I thought, okay, maybe that's me that should start the orchestra.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I was in touch with Boris and some other musicians, including Witold Oleszak, who was the first conductor of the orchestra.
Okay.
And we just wrote to the different musicians we knew, and even to the musicians we didn't know. Hey, we are starting this kind of group improvisation, conducted improvisation. Let's meet. Let's have some rehearsal. Let's try. And actually, Witold was the first conductor, as I mentioned. And he came to the first rehearsal and just started conducting. Like, there was no like discussion or like, okay, like this sign should be this and that. He just started conducting using some really intuitive gestures. And it was just, well, it works.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but then it evolved, because the main idea behind our orchestra is the full openness, both when it comes to the musicians, so like everybody could play, professional and amateurs, whatever, and also openness to the people, because we play for free, and we play in different venues, not only clubs, but also some public spaces, etc. So this is like first really important thing for us, and the second one is collectiveness, because okay, I could say for myself that I personally thought that like a normal structure of the improvising orchestra is a bit, how to say it, oppressive, a bit, like like some kind of symbolic oppression, because there's a conductor and he's in the lead, and there are musicians, and there are like different roles, and there's no like a crossing of the border. And I thought that it would be cool to break this structure and we introduced the system. Actually, we are still working on it. It's not so easy, but a system of conduction rotation. The idea is that everybody could be the conductor, and also everybody could improvise not only on their instruments, but also with the voice and with a movement. So it gives a lot of possibilities to use.
Yeah, sure. And something that caught my attention was that just before we start, I was watching a video of you performing on YouTube, and I saw multiple conductors at the same time in stage. I mean, many people conducting at the same time. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's really really cool. It gives a lot a lot of possibilities, because if you had like one conductor, it has its own advantages. Yeah, for example, if you work with the same conductor, you understand people better, and you could use their abilities in a better way. But also you've got your own limits and your habits. And, after some time, it's tough to be, open, yeah, and not to perform the same way. And I thought that maybe that's the case, and if we could use as much conductors as we could, it will still keep it elastic and changing.
I see. Yeah. And well, in this case, what do you think it is the role of the conductor? If you can have more than one conductors, playing at the same time, what is the role of those people who are, conducting the ensemble?
I think it's more of initiating some stuff. For example, if you've got some idea, for example, you're playing, somebody else is conducting.
Okay.
But it all goes a bit boring, and you could feel that it's not a lot of ideas in the air. But you've got something in your head, and you could like switch with the conductor and like give a new energy and new power to the situation. Of course, it depends, because we do it in different ways. Sometimes it's just casual. We've got like 2 conductors, 2 sets, and that's all. Most of the times we've got like sets with specific conductors, and one set that is, for example, open, that we start as free improvisation, but when somebody feels that it's his or her moment, he or she can stand up and bring it to the different level,
Yeah.
different lengths of sound painting.
Yeah, you did use the word sound painting. Where did you get your gestures from? The signs you use. Did you create them, or did you
actually
get them?
It's pretty complicated, and there are like we gather them from different orchestras, and sometimes these gestures are like from one orchestra, but via different orchestra, and they changed a bit during the process. So we've got some gestures from London Improvisers Orchestra. We've got some via Krakow Improvisers Orchestra. We've got some gestures from Phil Minton's Feral Choir,
Oh, wow.
also in use, and we also got our own gestures.
Uh-huh. Can you specify one of them that you like the most?
The most, yeah, I got the one I like most. It's the change.
Okay.
It's like a big change of a musical situation, and it works like that. I show it to the people, like, hey guys, watch out. Soon there will be instant change. So there's one sign. Then there's like I point on the people who will play after the change. I could show them how to play, like long notes, yeah, or like. And then again, ready, and go. Okay. And this is the moment that everything changes.
Okay.
But I also like this this sign because apart from like a technical stuff, it also has some philosophical meaning for me personally. That like this the change that I believe that the music could change society.
Oh yeah.
And that improvisation and especially like collective actions, collective creative actions could really change the society to the better.
Okay, I 100% agree with you. I totally agree, and I'm very interested to know how do you think that this kind of practice really can really change the society? How do you think that it influences society?
First of all, because we work with different people and from different environments, it helps with being open-minded and with being tolerant. And I really think that we are somehow equal because we've got equal rights and everybody could conduct, yeah, and everybody could be also a curator of the edition. So yeah, it's really important to also like break the oppression of institution. So in this way also, but also to free your mind and you know, not everything must be serious. Sure. You know, like music could be fun. You know, like it's not. Yeah. It's not about how well you technically play on the instrument or whatever, but that you could be with people together, like feel the situation, be a part of it, and create with other people. So I guess the integrative part of orchestra or other group actions are really important.
Yeah, man. Yeah, very well said. Yeah, I totally agree. Very nice. And well, I would like to geek a little bit more about your, you know, your technique, your gestures, because I was watching some videos of you on YouTube and of your group, and another thing that I perceived, it caught my attention. It was that you, as a group, you do play free improvisation, but also when you are playing conducted improvisation, you use a lot of extended techniques that you called alternative use of instrument, and I would like to know if this is intentional.
Yeah, I think so. That there is some big impact in our orchestra on performative aspects of the musical performance. That not only music is important, of course, it is the most important part of this fun, but also other aspects like I don't know which videos have you watched, but for example, there's one from Chigachiso. We've got like a kind of festival. It's like festival holidays and mixed together. It's in a beautiful area by the river Odra, and we meet there every year for like 1 week of actions.
Wow.
Not only musical actions, but some workshops, also manual workshops, some non-singing choir, some orchestra action. And from the video from that festival, for example, we had a concert with the orchestra, with the non-singing choir. It's based on Phil Minton's idea, with some local musicians who never played in such orchestra. And also at the end of performance, because it started with a free improvisation, like 25 minutes or something. Then there was Boris conducting, me conducting, and some other people. And at the end, there was like 5 conductors on stage, conducting at the same time. And it was just, you know, spontaneous. And then we started like fighting with each other. Like, does it make sense to be like 5 conductors at the same time? And no, we just have to find like a IBA conductor. And we pointed on some guy from the audience, and we were like, "Do you want to conduct?" And he was like, "Yeah, but how? With my hands?" And he went on conducting, or giving us some different orders, like double backflip. And it was really like the coolest part of the video, like musically. I mean, it was like most harmonic part. So I think it's also really important that, you know, we are open to the environment and to the people, and then we could, you know, do something spontaneously and break even our like own rules and do something new and crazy.
That
just go with the flow.
Yeah, sure. And that sounds very fun.
Yeah.
The way you put things and the way you talk. It seems to me that you have a lot of fun together when you are doing that. And I was wondering, because in one of those videos I was watching, it was a festival, and you specifically gave a gesture for everyone, and then someone looked at you and said, "Listen to them, listen to them." He said something like that, and then you stopped conducting, and well, because you have this this, you know, horizontal hierarchy, and well, I suppose that when you have more, you know, multiple conductors doing, it can be a bit messy. And how do you deal with your expectations when, you know, you are contradicted in stage?
Yeah, actually, it's quite tough. And mm, I think that it works best when we spend a lot of time together.
Okay.
So, for example, after this festival that I mentioned, when we spent like a week together, like the energy in the group was really, really great. And I think it's all about the communication. So where's when there are some obstacles in communication between us or some, I don't know, bad energy, it really, you could really hear it later on that it's, you know, something wrong going on. And it's also that the dangerous part of our experiment, yeah, that it could go really, really well and spontaneous and like if going with a flow and energy is like sky high. But there are also some performances when it doesn't go our way and we stop, you know, hearing each other and there's something wrong with the communication. So it's also important to that everybody could, you know, give some sign to the musician or to the conductor that, you know, something's wrong or you could change something. It's also important. We even did one edition. We called it like a guerrilla edition. The idea of this or that edition was that everybody could and even should be disobedient to the conductor, and everybody could conduct the conductor or conduct the other musicians in opposition to the main conductor or conduct the audience. It was really crazy. But as the idea, as like some kind of philosophical statement, it was really interesting and freeing. By the way, because I could forget, and I see that Boris is already ready to jump into the action. I mentioned this non-singing choir. It's the initiative by Bartosz Ignacy Wrona, a musician, also a tale reader, and he mentioned that he really likes your idea of meetings and talking about different styles of improvisation in a bigger group. And yeah, I think that you know, you should invite him one day.
That's for sure. Yes, I will do it for sure. Totally. Thank you for your tip. Yeah. And I have one last question for you before before we jump in with Boris. And I would like to know if you can share one story that one fun story or something that happened to you on stage as a conductor that it reminds you something funny or something happy or whatever you want to share.
Okay. So yeah, I already told you the story about the conductor of the conductors from the audience, but oh, I know. When I conduct, like I told you that my favorite gesture is this one, but I also really like that one.
This one? This one?
Yeah, it's like it's called a heart song.
Okay.
And when I conduct the orchestra, I always choose some song, and it should be some really well-known pop or rock song, and I take a part of it and make it a heart song. So when I show this gesture, everybody knows that they should perform this part of the song, and we we make really weird things with that song, and at the end it doesn't sound at all like the original. But yeah, it has some really cool aspects, and I remember there's a great initiative in Poland, in Gdynia, made by Marcin Bożek from Gdynia Improvises Orchestra, and it's Improvising Orchestras Festival. It was the first edition last year, and we did it with 2 different orchestras. So it was our orchestra, Gdynia, and also Kraków. But maybe it will grow. And during performance in there, our heart song was With or Without You by U2. And the part, and especially this part like that, it's just like, oh, oh. And I was conducting, and I made some, I don't know, black metal out of it, or some, noise, terrifying soundtrack. So it was really cool. Like, I also like the strategy of using like a pop culture and changing it. Something else, and something avant-garde and surprising, even to ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, sounds very fun. Sounds very fun. So, well, thank you a lot, Rafał, for joining, participating. That was very, very nice to meet you, and I hope we can meet in person soon.
Yeah.
Thank
you, and thank you for the initiative. It's really cool, and I really like the idea to connect different people, and yeah, we should work on it. So I already invited Guilherme to my new radio audition about improvising in big groups. So I will interview him instead. Yeah, and I hope to come to Brazil. But we'll see how it goes.
It will happen.
Really thank you, and it was really cool, and keep on doing it.
Thanks a lot, man.